with the death of Charlie Kirk, you're starting to see this conservative boat leak oil. The ship is leaking oil and the ship is sinking. There's a lot of blame being pushed around. There's a lot of people pointing the fingers at each other. We're finding out behind the scenes just how much that a lot of these conservative groups dislike each other, and they're fighting to see who's going to be in power, who is going to be the one to lead the charge. Now, Patrick Bet-David is a guy that I vehemently dislike. He says a lot of disparaging things about the black community, and he's not a W man himself, right? He wants to seek acceptance and want to be around them and want to be part of the conservatives, right, group, right? Even though they would never really accept them, but their channel now is being criticized, right? And people are threatening to unsubscribe from them for some of the disparaging things that they said about Candace Owens, another conservative sellout that's a black woman, right? Married to a W man, used a lot of conservative talking points against her own community. But right now, they're going back and forth, and they're in support of Bill Ackman and the small hat regime, right? The small hat side, where Candace Owens is calling them out. So they went on to their show and they said some things about Candace Owens that people are saying it's not true. Check it out.
Turning Point USA, when Charlie was hosting the debate between Dave Smith and the other gentleman, he asked him point blank, is Israel an ally of the United States? Dave Smith said no. So that's where Dave Smith is, who happens to be Jewish. But here's a couple different thoughts here. Candace is a shock jock, and she is such a good one, man. She is such a good one. So were Candace and Charlie friends? Yeah, they were. I challenge anybody, please help me out here. Show me one picture, one podcast, one evidence that they've even been in the same room in the last 2 years. The last thing I found, the last time they did anything was on October 3rd, 2023. Ironically, a couple days before October 7th. Show me any evidence that they've been in touch, they've been in dialogue, they've done anything together. I would love to see it. So they were friends. I don't think they are friends. I think that Candace is capitalizing on Charlie's death. I think she feels horrible. She doesn't feel good about this. But Candace is an opportunity.
Now, this is the thing. I don't know if this guy was a lone wolf, this guy Tyler Robinson, and he just decided to go take out Charlie Kirk, right? None of us really know that. We don't know the facts right now. We got ideas. Now, one thing I know, I've been online for many years and I have many channels. And whenever I talked about certain things, brought up certain topics about certain groups, I had channels taken down. I had videos taken down. That let me know when I was going too far and alluding to the truth, right? Whenever I would put up videos and I would go on my rants, they wouldn't leave them up, right? Because they can question it and they can question my credibility. But when I would go real deep in the grease, they would just get rid of it. They would get rid of the video, period, right? Give me a strike. Well, when you're dealing with Candace Owens and some of the things that she's saying, they're not discrediting what she's saying. They're trying to attack her credibility and trying to make it seem like she didn't know Charlie Kirk at all. And they're coming after her to try to make her now look like she's an idiot and she doesn't know what she's talking about. When she was using talking points about the black community, she was being propped up on high, right? But now when she's talking about certain groups and pointing fingers, now she's a shock jock. This is what they're doing. So you got to pay attention and look at the way that these people are moving. Check it out.
He said Bill and Charlie were cordial. They're friendly. There was no conflict. Yeah. We were in the room the entire time.
Did he say that?
Yeah, straight up. Fact check me on this. So at some point, we're going to have to acknowledge something about Candace.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Can you read this? I've been asked by Bill Ackman even more times. I'm traveling with Charlie Kirk to find out what's the truth. But his team was with him 100% of the time when he wasn't in hotel room. Here's what they told me. Bill never yelled at Charlie, never pressed him on Bibi, never gave him a list of Charlie's offenses against Israel. There was concern raised about having Tucker at SAS. What is that? SAS? What is
Student
that?
Action
Student
Summit.
Action Summit.
We don't
It's
live
like a
And Charlie's
TPSA,
reply was, honestly, people telling me not to have Tucker makes me want to have Tucker, and I'm going to lock him in for AmFest 2. Charlie personally told me he had a very cordial relationship with Bill, and the event was productive. Those are the facts.
Okay. So that's subtly saying, Candace, you have no idea what you're talking about. Can we agree upon that? So at what point are we going to say, well, maybe Candace just is completely unbiased here? So there's justified criticism of Israel? Sure. There's
biased or unbiased?
Biased.
You meant to say biased.
You're saying she's biased towards Israel.
Or against Israel.
Oh, okay.
Well, is that fair to
then
say?
You're being biased.
Okay, so there's justified criticism, there's unjustified criticism, there's lies and deception, and then there's just outright hate. I would ask you, what category is Candace in regarding Israel? I don't know if she outright hates Israel, outright hates Jews. I'm not there. But is her criticism completely justified? Is it completely unbiased? Or is she using lies and deception here? Last point here. You offered Tucker $100 million to join Valuetainment. True or false?
Yes.
Did you post it on Twitter at the time?
We posted. We went to his place. We sent the guy to his place to make the offer.
So there was a formal offer and a formal contract.
Documented.
If someone's going to offer Charlie Kirk $150 million, don't you think there's going to be a public statement, a contract, a tweet? Is it just, yo, buddy, you want $150 million? Come on our team.
And you see, these guys, they think that it's back in the day and people were stupid, right? I mean, just listen to these talking points that this dude is using. He's using old school talking points that don't work for the day with social media. People are more intelligent nowadays as far as in a lot of areas than they ever was as far as politics. They have more access to information, right? So you can't, listen, he's talking about if somebody was going to give you $100 million, there would be a contract, there would be statements. No, there's always backdoor deals being made where I'm paying you behind the scenes and I'm a silent partner and you're going to do our bidding. Right, because we can't come out in front and do it because it's not going to look good because we monopolize the game. We control the board, so it's going to look like we're controlling the board and telling people what to do. So we pay people to go use our talking points. This is what they do: controlled opposition, man. So they're saying they're trying to say that Charlie and Candace wasn't friends, right? And they're using these people are using their platform to discredit her and. In defense of Israel. This is what they're doing, right? I'm reporting the news and I'm looking at what these guys are saying. I can't, there's nothing proven on what Candace is saying or what these people are saying, but they're using the media and propaganda now to discredit the things that she was saying. And when she made certain comments about Bill Ackman, these guys are in direct defense of Bill Ackman. And they're trying, they're saying more stuff like this.
You're on the board of Turning Point?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you saw Candace Owens?
In person?
Yeah.
2015,
Oh,
2016.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. No,
When's the last time she was at a Turning Point event?
Not in many years.
Okay.
But
so let's without even being biased.
There's
Candace even involved in Charlie Kirk's life at all?
No question, proof that Candace Owens has nothing to do. She would be in a perfect world if they didn't have this. What I already know was a very quiet breakup where she got too rabbit hole for him. She would be the logical heir to the TPUSA throne, but she's
and
not.
Now she's not even invited.
Correct. So this is so their divide is.
Wait a minute, not invited meaning
she's not even there.
Yeah, she's not
there.
One of the names.
What, you don't think she'll be at the funeral?
No.
That's
I mean,
not the funeral.
The heir to the TPUSA throne.
She doesn't speak at the events anymore.
I mean, Erica.
That's a reason
Erica
for
Kirk.
that.
I mean,
what is Erica Kirk's relationship with Candace at this point? Is there a relationship?
I don't think so.
Why do you not think so?
Because I live in this world.
Okay.
I live in.
You know this world. Tell us.
I don't see them together. I think Candace has created a lane for herself. Yeah. It's her own lane. She wants to go after Macron's husband or wife or whatever you want to call him. She wants. I agree that I think it's cheap that she is sparking this up like she knows something between something happened between Ackman and Charlie.
And see, these guys, they just losing all kinds of credibility because their comment section and their supporters was threatening to unsubscribe from them. Because I keep trying to tell you, the younger people are not as slow when it comes to this politics as people think that they are. They thought that they could use those same old talking points, just tell you anything, and then you just go along with it. They said that Candace Owens hadn't been around. They hadn't seen her since 2015. It's 10 years later, which was a lie because when she was fired from the Daily Wire, she was over there with Turning Point USA, and they did a tour together. What was it? She co-headlined the spring tour in 2024. She was still cool with Charlie Kirk. They was even alluding to that she wasn't friends with Charlie Kirk's wife, right? She's still over there with those people, right? She's still over there with those strong conservative points, right? She's still rocking. But again, Candace saw this and responded. And she was saying that this is it's more sinister behind this. Now, remember, they mentioned what she was doing with Emmanuel Macron and his wife. They also mentioned that. And remember, I did the video where I said, listen, Candace's career may be over because she's going after the small hats. She's going after the president of a powerful nation. And they're using their media now to come down on her and crush her. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlie Kirk's wife turned on her. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I'm not saying that she will or won't, but I've been around long enough to see how this thing works when you go against these powerful people and how they use their media to crush you. And this is the beginning stages of it. But she got wind of this and she responded by saying this.
I told you yesterday that we received way too many emails about Charlie's memorial. All of them were asking specifically for me to confirm that I was going. Didn't feel good to me. It felt very inauthentic. I know these journalists are not my friends. I knew they were writing hit pieces, but all of them included that question. Are you going? Are you going to go? Like, you want me to confirm my attendance so that you know where I'm going to be ahead of time? Am I being paranoid? Or does that seem like a little weird? Even on PBD's show, where he just gives a platform to a guest to completely lie for 2 minutes straight, there is this random second where PBD rather oddly says something along the lines of, you don't think she's going to the funeral? Like, they keep talking about this. Take a listen again.
At some point, her credibility, is going to go down the tubes because she needs to bring receipts. Bill Ackman brought receipts. How long was that tweet?
It's still going. I think
he was there in the
still
room.
reading it.
Andrew Colbert was there in the room. You're on the board of Turning Point?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you saw Candace Owens?
In person?
Yeah.
2015,
Oh, wow.
2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
When's the last time she was at a Turning Point event?
Not in many years.
Okay. And now she's not
because
even
she's-
invited.
Correct. So this is
So
their
the-
divide is.
Wait a
is
minute,
what-
not
is-
invited, meaning
She's not even there.
Yeah, she's not.
she's
She's
not
not
there.
one of the names
Wait,
that I.
you don't think she'll be at the funeral?
No. I
That's
mean,
not the funeral.
The heir to
Oh,
CTV
okay.
USA throne.
She doesn't speak at the events anymore.
I mean,
Okay, so first and foremost, why did they all want to know if I was going to this event? I said there is no way we are going to this event now. There's a 0% chance. First and foremost, why are you saying but anybody can go to it? You just buy a ticket to the event, and you're all working to try to get me to confirm that I'm going. And you're doing this as if you're trying to like push my buttons and be like, we got to make her get into her ego so she like shows up and like posts it on social media. Nope, actually, while I'm attacking the feds, maybe not going to a public event, which the feds are organizing, is probably a very good idea. I'm good.
And see, this is the chickens coming home to roost, because this is the thing, like I always said, when you have these sellouts, right? They'll let you come in and do their bidding as long as you're doing their bidding. But the minute you go off script, the minute you start really having a spirit or a soul and start speaking out, right, and calling certain things out, there you go. Here they come, right? So now she's saying they're trying to locate where I'm at and want to know where I'm at, want to know all these things. Why are you saying all that, Candace? Because you already know what it is, right? You went deep into Greece. Now in Greece, they turning the heat up and the grease is getting hot. But you chose this path. This is what you chose. You chose to be over there. You said you married for IQ. You said all these different things to be a part of this regime and this system, right? You came up through them. You was on the Daily Wire. You was rolling with these people until you changed and you had a change of heart. Now, this is a situation, right? So me, I don't have a dog in the fight or angle. I'm just giving you the news, right? She wasn't finished. She said this.
I'm going to listen to Power on my headphones and go see Ye. How's that for a memorial for Charlie Kirk? That feels like the right thing for me to do right now. I mean, I'm not going to this memorial because it's strange. To lie like this is very strange. For context, just so you can realize how odd this is, I spoke at Turning Point's conference, 2 conferences last year. It's so easily, like I said, debunkable that you have to ask yourself why they are saying it. Here is me speaking on Turning Point USA's stage last year. And here's what I said, by the way, which got Charlie in a lot of trouble.
Well, let me tell you something, America. It does feel so good to go everywhere in the world and to realize that there is awakening, not just happening here. Let me tell you guys, it's happening all across the globe. People are starting to ask the hard questions. And you start getting close when they start to call you names. They instantly want to suggest that there's something wrong and there's something backwards about being America first. You're starting to hear the way they're framing that now. When you say you're America first, they'll ask you, what do you mean you're America first? Do you mean that you're an isolationist? Do you believe that we shouldn't have did what we did during World War II? All of these things trying to pollute it. It's not that difficult. America first. First name America, last name first. We put this country's interests before the interests of foreign countries overseas. All of them. I don't care.
Yeah, it kind of went on and on, but it was kind of me saying, especially since 3 months earlier, I had gotten fired from the Daily Wire, like, Israel, you're not special. And yeah, Charlie got in trouble for the stuff that I said on stage, and then they came inward. I told that I was not allowed to speak at AmFest. The donors were making threats, but like I went on tour with Turning Point last year. It's still on their website. It's so this is like the strangest thing. We could pull up this website. Live Free Tour, Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. Quiet breakup. Why are we doing this? It's very strange. Here's all the places that we went to last year. Now they are pushing these headlines that are so far beyond the realm of reality, like the one that I just showed you, where they say that I'm angry. And then when you look into who's writing these articles, like Victoria Churchill, you note that she has a connection to AIPAC.
So she showed receipts and showed proof that these people lied. And they tried to do a hit piece on her and it didn't work. They came out there and said a whole bunch of foolishness that people could just Google and look up. Now, we know that Bill Montgomery took him under his wing when he was in college at 18 years old, gave him like $4 million to start Turning Point USA. Then the Bernie Marcus Foundation came and gave him like $2.3 million in 2023. And this is why he was so sympathetic to the plight of Israel, right? He was being funded by them. And, I don't see no crime in that part of it. But a lot of the talking points that he was using in regards to the black community and black people being funded by that group, to me, that's questionable. These are conversations that need to be had, questions that should be answered, right? So there's a battle that's waging and that's going on where you see these people now, Patrick Bet-David and his crew. Who are you funded by? Who's telling you to go out and say these hit pieces and lies towards Candace Owens based off of the people that she's calling out? Who are you running controlled oppositions for? Right? Just saying blatant lies where she could just go and show that you guys are lying to the point where your own people is turning against you. Now, some would say, well, why is this black people business an FBA business? Because it is. Because anything that goes on in this country affects our community hard. So we have to always keep our ear to the ground and pay attention to what's going on so we know how to navigate and move, because they always use our communities as cannon fire. This is why when this stuff is going on, we're still being antagonized and picked on because we're low-hanging fruit, because in this country, they have to always maintain W supremacy at all costs, even when it attacks themselves. They still have to maintain it. So the low-hanging fruit is to come bother us. So we have to educate ourselves on what's going on and know how to move within it, right? So that's all it is. So I'm going to always report the news on what's going on and keep my people abreast as to how the ship is leaking oil, right? And they all scrambling down and vying for power. So we're going to see how this play out. But if you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.